Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indy Comics Explained. And I'm having a slight technical issue. No camera today, so we just get to look at Oswald. And you know what? He's a better looking guy anyway. So without further ado, please hit like, hit subscribe, share out the video. And I brought out another fantastic group of independent comic book creators to discuss independent comic book things. And and I got this guy.
And
you get to still see his face.
This guy is not having any technical issues today. So,
bro, you are a technical issue.
You get to enjoy this visage. Not only that, I'm not even flubbing my own name like you did in your opening sequence. It's like you don't even know what to call yourself.
Yeah, listen, I got 14 names. What do you want?
14 names?
Yeah, you didn't know?
How much money your family had, bro?
Well,
Jesus Christ. My name is Jay, one letter. That's all we can afford, bro. Come on, we were poor. Okay?
Well, you got JD. That's 2 letters.
Two letters. See, but I can't call myself JD because this is your show. So, I gotta, let you rock with the 2 letters. Plus, I'm different. I'm better looking.
Let's bring on the important co-host.
Hello, everyone. This is Mark Torres of the Came From Radio, the official Lee Beck Apple Con, and I am here guest co-hosting, not on a holiday. Way to start off the year 2023, and let's see who we have on our panel for today.
Yes, Mark. Can I just ask you a quick question? I mean, how much do we have to pay to get you back? Because you look like you look like a hostage. You behind that gray background.
Do I need to have a blindfold?
Exactly.
That's so messed up, dude. Why do you got to say that to him? You know what I'm saying?
What are you talking about? I'm willing to send money to get him back. What are you talking about? What are you kidding me?
At least send him food while he's Mark looks like he can eat a cheeseburger or 2.
I can always eat a cheeseburger.
My man. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Without further ado, here's our first guest. How you doing, Mark?
Please. Hey, what's shaking, man? What's going on? It's Mark Dudley from Imaginos Workshop, Imaginos TV on YouTube. I'm glad to be here. And again, you guys are from New York, and I went to school in New York. I went to Cornell. So, yeah. So again, you guys are definitely kindred spirits. I spent a lot of time in the city. I love the city. I love you guys.
Plus, you have a K as a mark, so that means we're buddies right there.
There you go. Yeah. So you understand how we talk to one another.
Oh, absolutely. I'm all in.
Yeah. All right. And our next guest, Corissa. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, Corissa.
Oh, okay, cool. So please introduce yourself.
I'm Corissa. I'm the writer and creator of Worthy Chaos Comics. I have a horror adventure comic book series coming out. It's actually on pre-launch on Kickstarter. You could just search Worthy Chaos. And I can be found on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all those things under Worthy Chaos. And I was born in New York, so now I feel I like you guys more.
There you go.
We're in New York. We're in New York.
Well, I was in Long Island. And
Long Island. All right. We're in Long Island. Come on, let's bring it down. Where?
Uniondale.
Okay.
I was next to the Coliseum.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say upstate New York, because upstate New York
doesn't count.
Yeah, there we go.
I learned that. I learned that at Cornell. I learned that for sure.
And I used to go to New York City to get my my comics and my manga before they were available, and Barnes and Nobles and all that fun stuff. So
nice. So where are you at now?
With the Green Acres
now
Mall?
I'm in Tennessee. It's a little different.
Did you frequent the Sunrise Hall, the Green Acres Mall, Sunrise Cinemas?
Yeah.
I used to work there.
Oh,
get out of here!
We used to go like every weekend. Like we loved it.
Were you there during the shooting of New Jack City, the premiere that weekend?
No,
it was Godfather 3.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Paul.
Here's our other guest, Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Great. I'm doing great. Thank you for saving the best for last. I'm Paul Gommez. I'm a pretty much a brand new writer and creator. I hit the 1 year mark. I'm hit it in my second year right now.
Nice.
Doing great, amazing things. And I see all this New York love. I got to bring the Texas love. Thank you. So
We're in Texas?
6 months.
Forward, Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
Nice. I got family out there, man. You going to be doing Dallas Fan Expo?
I'm not sure about this year. I didn't get a table, so I don't think so. I'm kind of backing off of the conventions for a little bit because I got a lot of other stuff that I'm trying to get a hold of. But
Okay.
I loved it last year.
Okay.
I want to go next year. I have 9 this year, but I've never done one, so I'm either gonna like love it or die at the end. So we'll see.
Yeah, I did. I think I did about 10 last year, and that was my first year. So I'm kind of kicking back a little bit because I really want to gain ground with the local LCSs and maybe hit a few more Metroplexes LCSs. That's really my goal this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, are you near any Papa Bros Texas places? Steakhouse?
No, unfortunately not. But there's some great places.
Wait, so what kind of roadhouses? What did you say?
Papa Bros. That is like the best steak I've ever had in my life when I went to Texas.
I'm gonna
Austin, Texas.
No,
What
my
part
man.
of Texas?
Austin. It was Austin, Texas.
Oh, you were further south. There you go.
And it was the hotel guy was like, there's two steak places you go to. He's like, there's the expensive one and then there's the cheap one. I went for the expensive one. Best steak I ever had. I can still taste it to this day. It was so good.
All right. Listen. So we're on the topic of Texas. Paul, Hard 8.
Oh, love it.
Okay, there we go.
Woo.
That's
some of the best there is right there.
There you go. Best barbecue in Texas, Hard 8, man. Dude, this place, it's like, you know, when you get on a ride at like a Six Flags or something like that, you're dancing through the metal bars, right? So they got the metal bars on the left and they got the metal bars on the right and they got the smoke pit in the middle. So as you're waiting to walk through the restaurant, right, you just got that smoke pit and everything just going at you and you're salivating. You're like, oh my God, I want that, I want that. Hard 8's the spot, baby.
Yeah. I'm taking notes for when I go to Texas next year.
They got 3 locations. At least last time I was there, Paul, they had 3 locations. I don't know if they got more.
I think they got a few more now, but I mean, I know I went to 2 different other locations, and I think they have like 1 or 2 more now.
Nice.
Man, so great. So good.
Great barbecue in Texas, man. Hard 8.
Make sure you got money before you go there because, spending the food there is so great. You just want to constantly eat that food because it's amazing.
Whenever I go to Texas, I'm always trapped. My family from Domino, Texas, so I'm always trapped up in the Arklatex.
Oh, so you got home cooking. You got home cooking all day, baby.
Yeah, I love to make it to Dallas or Houston or Austin once or twice.
All
right, so after the show, we're all going to Texas, and we're going to get some.
Come on down.
It's a good thing my camera is not working. The look of absolute disapproval. Right now. It's just remarkable. We're here to talk about comics.
If your camera's not working, I don't even know why you're doing the show.
Listen. Why are you even still talking? I'm surprised you don't have a steak in your mouth.
I did today.
All right, listen. Let's get down to it, guys. I got a question for you guys. All right. New year, new stuff going on, right? What are you guys doing to up your game? You know, are you going to be doing more crowdfunders? Are you going to guys moving into LCSs, more shows? Are you looking to move into a new publisher? You know, what are you looking exactly to do? Move up your game. You know, how are you going to step it up this year? So let's start off with Mr. Dudley.
This year, it's funny because we're a production company. You know, comics is one of the things we do. That's the foundation of what we do, actually. But we also do film and stuff like that too. We working on. So, what we're going to be doing is trying to do a lot more maybe commercial stuff for our comics, a lot more YouTube stuff. Actually, we're putting out more comics this year than last year. We're going to be hitting some shows. You know, it's trying to build on what we did last year. Really, that's what it is. You know, we're trying to. The thing is that we multimedia, right? But we comics, like I said, is our foundation. So ultimately, usually it's the other way around. Oh, well, I'm going to get in the comics. We don't have to get in the comics. So, we just, at the end of the day, we try to leverage that. That's pretty much what we're doing this year.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. And you're saying you're leveraging it. So, but how are you looking? Are you going to be doing more comics?
Well, we're going to be all right. So basically, with us, we got a sister company called Shine the Taco that puts out nothing but manga. I'm the art director for those guys too, right? So
nice.
They're younger guys, and you see this gray right here. I'm obviously not a younger guy. So we focus. We do Indy Comics, what Imaginos does, and then Shine the Taco does manga. So we trying to push them out the door after a year of rebuilding them. So we'll be doing a lot more manga. We'll continue to do the comics that we're doing over at Imaginos, and we'll be using the fact that we do small films to help advertise that stuff. Really, that's what we're doing.
Gotcha. Okay, that sounds interesting. And listen, don't worry about the whole thing about being, one of the older guys. Look at Jay. Let's look at him. Anyway, I'm off camera today, so I have to take every pot shot I can. Corissa, so what are you looking to do to step up this year?
Well, since I'm starting at 0, stepping up isn't hard. I'm releasing my comics this year. I literally just started releasing. I had a small campaign in November, but I actually redid that comic. So technically, I'm starting fresh this year. So upping my game is just starting. But I have 9 conventions I already signed up for to be get a table for. 2 of them are horror cons, so I'm looking forward to those especially. But and I have the Kickstarter coming out this month, and my artist is super fast, so probably every other month or so is going to be a new Kickstarter and a new issue. So I guess getting those out. And my goal is by the end of the year to get book 1 out, which is the first 7 issues of my 5 books. So we'll see.
Huh? Very nice. Okay, cool. Listen, I know all about doing multiple campaigns in a year, so the more merrier, right?
Yeah. Hopefully.
Oh no! Well, listen. You'll drive yourself crazy, but it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm obsessed with the story, so the more I work with it, the better it is. So keeps the withdrawals away.
Nice. Paul, what do you have?
Oh man, I got so many things going on. So that first year I put out 4 books, and this year I'm only aiming to put out at least 2. And that's not saying that that's all I'm going to do, but the main reason is the first one, which is going to be on February 17th, that's Prelude to Aurora. That's going to be the 3rd of my collection that I'm going to put together from the artist that I'm with, San Espina. And those 3 are going to be a nice, good collection right there that I'm going to put together and kind of put out there. The other second major comic I'm going to put out is my 3rd issue of my flagship comic, Bushibu Circus Mysteries. And since I'm going to be putting that 3rd one out, it's probably going to end up in a trade paperback as well. So those are 2 major things I want to focus on. I did get let go by my publisher a few months back, and I just got picked up by ASAP Imagination. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're based out in the UK, and they picked me and my comics up. So we definitely want to focus on advertising me and bringing me out a little bit more than I have been, because
nice. Congratulations.
I definitely appreciate it. Yeah. So those are the main things, getting my name out there, getting those books that I have out there, and to focus on those 2 collections, I guess, trade paperbacks, if you will, and maybe a little bit more LCSs, because I really feel like that's a definite way to go.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Well, hold on. Let me pull this up. Atrocity Press, that's Max. What's up, Max?
What's up,
Max?
He's doing a campaign right now. He's doing very well. Congratulations, Max. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mark, what are you looking to do to up your game this year?
Well, it's funny you should mention that. Provided that my life
other than escaping, go ahead.
Provided that my life stays stable, We are going back to in-person live shows for the East Meadow Public Library in Long Island. We've been doing virtual shows since the pandemic, so this is our first in-person live show after the pandemic. So we're going to see how that goes. Hopefully we can build up an audience, people come down there. Also, thanks to you, reached out to the David Barish for a crowdfunder. We're going to go through that to try and get our book out one more time.
Nice.
And in promotion for that, we're going to do a radio play of our comic book. So we're working on that.
Sweet.
So we're going to have it all tied together. So we're going to do a radio play. We already started the casting. And hopefully it will come out at the same time so I can actually put clips of the video. So we're going to do a virtual table read. And then we're also going to do a live in-person read at the East Meadow Public Library as well.
How come I didn't know about auditions? What's up?
Do you want to audition?
Let me audition.
Yeah.
You can do a voice. Let me see you do a voice.
What you mean? You trying to get me to do some kind of voice? Is that it? You want something like that? You want something like that? You want to be a bit caught in the ass in there? Or you want me to go like something like, something deeper, like some big old country boy out there, some corn-fed brother who, drive a tractor from all the way from Cali all the way to, up in Maine, something like that.
All right, if you're serious, I'll send you the information.
That's cool.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Listen, I think if you need anyone for a pratfall to definitely fall on their face, Jay's it. Jay's the man.
And let's see what else
I
we
love
got.
falling on his face. Look at his grill.
We also just got picked up by another radio station, Central Oregon Radio. They're playing us on Saturdays and Sundays. I believe it's at 9 Eastern Standard Time, but the time is different in Central Oregon. So yeah.
That's my wife. That's my wife. Talking schmackiola.
Maybe it's country Hulk Hogan.
Might be a little bit of both. This match might be a little bit of both. Yeah. Oh, Corissa, I'm sorry. You moved to Tennessee. I'm trying not to, I apologize. I know that's a lot of the Rocky Mountains road over there.
I'm still a New Yorker. Doesn't matter where I go.
That's right.
That's right. What's a New Yorker? Always a New Yorker. So.
There you go. That's my girl.
This is true. And listen, and even though you said all that and you said it, I guarantee you should not recognize it as anything. Other than noise coming out of your face.
I guarantee you're right. Yeah, here we go. Carry out.
Anyway.
Sorry, the voices. Once I get started, it's like they'll blend one into the next.
Yeah, okay. So let's go back to this.
Thanks. I'll fix her. I'll make sure she doesn't sleep tonight. I'll just be doing voices all night, love.
All right. So Jay, what are you doing to level up this year? What are your plans for this year? What are you planning on doing?
All right. Okay. So we spent last year building up a war chest. I have 6 releases coming out this year, so we're going to have one every other month. Of those 6 releases, 5 are already on the can. 6 is being worked on. Of those 5, 1 is a trade. And then for 2024, I've already got 2 trades planned, which will be coming from 2 of the miniseries that are going to be finished this year. Besides that, we are going to be doing conventions again. The first time since the pandemic happened that we are going to be doing conventions. For those of you who don't know, the last convention.
Hey, Lori, how you doing?
Hey, Lori.
How you doing, Lori? We love you.
The last convention I attended was a convention that I promoted myself here in Brooklyn, New York, and it was just before it was one of the last few conventions to run before the whole pandemic started. I forgot what weekend it was that Kobe Bryant passed away, but it was that weekend that we did, and we had a great con. But since then, I have not stepped foot into the public arena of the convention. I didn't miss doing cons,
except for the panel that you did.
Oh, the panel that I did. Yes, I'm sorry. I did a panel at the Long Island Comic Expo. Thank you, Mark. But it was a panel. It's not like I didn't table, right? So I haven't tabled in quite a while. So I'm looking forward to doing that. We're looking at Awesome Con this year. We were going to do Chicago, but that didn't pan out. And the backyard, the Big Daddy New York Comic Con. Trying to fit maybe one more in there for the year. I know you guys were talking about 10 12 conventions a year. God bless you. That is a trek.
In my defense, most of them are local.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, you're putting a lot of work into that stuff. It's not something that you just, hey, I'm here, and think you're gonna succeed just like that. There's a lot of work that goes into con. So God bless you guys for doing that.
I haven't survived yet, so.
You're here. You're on the show. You're surviving. You're thriving. Let's not say surviving. Everybody here is thriving, right? At something. So there's that. We're bringing people into the fold, so I do not have to wear as many hats as I am currently wearing. Everybody who is an independent comic creator knows you're pretty much an entrepreneur, right? And whatever you don't have money to pay somebody else to do, it's something you got to learn how to do yourself.
Absolutely.
And that is not easy.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in some people to take some of the hats that I wear off.
Nice. Now, are you an entrepreneur or is to quote Sam, a brokerpreneur?
Oh, I am. I don't want to say a brokerpreneur. You know what I mean? Because a brokerpreneur, shit, that brings down the whole doing this 16 years thing. You know what I mean? Brokerpreneur, like, oh man. When I started,
you got a backlist, you got a catalog.
No, we got a catalog, yes. And we're broke. We're breaking even. We're in the black, not tremendously in the black. I'm not out here living in a mansion driving a Maserati. That's my go-to line. But I'd like to do better than we are doing.
All right. Fair enough. I mean, for myself, I have one campaign that just ended about 2.5 weeks ago. I'm probably going to be fulfilling in the next week, and I'm looking to launch again on the 22nd. So, it's going to probably be another, 6 to 8 campaigns this year. And that's pretty much it. I don't have any other plans other than I am looking to go to MoCA this year, which is a comic book convention out here in New York. I'm looking to go to New York Comic Con this year. Maybe get a table next to Jay so I can harass him the entire weekend. So he can see how much time I don't spend at the table.
I get it, dude. Wait, you said New York Comic Con?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be dropping that dough, baby. Hold on a second. Let's this is when you need to have the camera on his face. You're gonna drop that 2,500 to be next to me at a con?
Whoa.
Maybe. I thought no, but I'm not looking at you.
What he's gonna do? This is what wait. This is what he's gonna do.
That's right.
He's going to rent out a spot on your table and then not be.
No, yeah. I'm just gonna show up and put my stuff on his table.
You're gonna depot his table, huh?
That's not an Artist Alley table, is it?
No. That's up in Small Press. I don't know if for those who've not done New York Comic Con, Artist Alley is in the lower level of the Javits, and it's huge.
Actually, I have a question about the New York Con. You guys, are you the artist are you in the Artist Alley? Because according to the rules, the artist has to be at the table with you. Do they actually enforce that?
But you're the writer. You're an artist as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you're an artist.
Okay, it made it sound like I couldn't do it because I wrote to them and said I'm only the writer, and they're like, yeah, you need the artist, and I was like, okay,
that's crazy.
No, you're the writer.
Don't say only the writer. That's your mistake
right
there.
Yeah. Call them and talk to them, but you're the writer, so you're the artist as well. You're
what's funny
artist.
with that though, because again, I'm gonna tell you, that's something that I have to talk to some of my other writers about. Cause they're like, "Oh, you draw," and then I'm like, "Hey, buddy, a writer's an artist. Get that through your head."
Yeah,
right. Writing is an art.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
it made it sound like it had to be the actual, but okay, that makes sense then. Because I might attend this year just to see what it's like, and then maybe try to do it next year. But I think they go by. Don't they have to pick you? Because like Dragon Con won't let me in because I'm not established.
Yeah, they didn't pick
really.
They didn't allow me last year. I applied for New York, wouldn't allow me in.
Yeah, Dragon Con said No,
wait
they
a few
said you
years.
don't have
C2E2
enough.
let me in twice. I've never been able to get.
I didn't bribe them enough,
Never.
apparently, or something.
I guess.
And it's
That's
funny
why
you
I'm
say-
hoping getting with a publisher kind of helps me get into some places, because I know that they can kind of apply for me as opposed to me applying and trying to sell myself. And some of these places, they said no to me, and it was like, here's what I have, here's what I'm doing, here's where you can see everything. I'm with the publisher, and then they let me in. So it's kind of like one of those things. If you're by yourself, sometimes they just say no.
Yeah, the C2E2 and New York are run by the same guys too.
Yeah, that's right. That's Repop. So C2E2,
Yeah.
Rose City, Emerald City. Excuse me. I apologize. Maybe not Rose City. But whatchamacallit? Yeah, Repop does that. They have Pat.
You said Emerald?
Emerald, right?
Man, I think you do Emerald City Con too.
I wouldn't have got into Dallas Fan Expo this past year if I didn't have known a few people and had made a little bit of headway that I did by that time last year. But they originally told me no, and then changed their mind later on whenever I had said, hey, I'm with this person, they can vouch for me, and here's all my products that I put out to this point. So there's a lot of cons that tell new artists and writers kind of no, but if you sell yourself, don't give up. Of course, don't be pushy, but make sure you make contact and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do.
With New York Comic Con, I know the artist alley is what, $500-$600 to get in?
Yeah, 600.
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you get the small press, a table, it's about $1,200. Then if you go like Mr. Rosario, get a corner booth.
$1,200, no, maybe more.
Like 14?
Yeah.
The prices went up since
1400?
last year. And then the corner booth was about $22,500, $23,000.
Yeah.
And then I get extra passes for the crew. So
it's more than all 10 of mine put together, I think.
Probably.
Jay, you let me know. I'm ready to go.
But when you don't just jump right into something like New York Comic Con or San Diego, you got to build up. You got to make sure you have the merchandise. You got to make sure something of what you're doing and how to move that merchandise. And it took me a while to learn what we were doing. When I first started in New York Comic Con, I was in the center of the main of the three halls, and I was paying, over $3,000 for a table, and we were just bringing in maybe $5,000, right? So now we moved to the small price section, where prior to the $22,500 to $2,500, it was $1,800, stuff like that, for a corner booth, and we were making $5,000, $6,000. So our margins went up, and then you build from there. But you got to make sure you have the merchandise. Right, I can do a little bit more because this is my backyard, right? So we're throwing everything in there. You know what I mean? Whereas if I were traveling to some cons, we're not bringing all of our merch. So we try to do the best to make 5 figures at a convention.
So one thing about New York Con, of what I hear, is that it's even though you got all the celebrities and stuff there, it's still comic centric. More so than a lot of these other cons. It's still a little more comic centric. Because I'm here in Detroit.
I'm with Mark on that. No, dude, they push the celebs, bro. They push the celebs.
Oh, do they? Because everybody I know that at least everybody I know here from Detroit that has gone there. They seem like they coming back smiling.
Well, they got the population. They got the customer base. That's the thing about it. It's like all these cons that are coming back up. They're filling it with vendors and celebrities, and they're making their money, but it's kind of pushing those comic creators out a little bit, and you're hitting these cons that don't bring in as many customers as I think what used to be, because I'm new, so I don't know how it used to be, but nowadays I've done cons when there was only like 3 other creators and everybody else was vendors, so it's kind of harder to compete because they don't expect to see you anymore.
Well, all right. Look at these numbers. Prior to the pandemic, New York Comic Con was bringing in 250,000 people through those doors. All right. This last convention, they broke over 200,000. But they opened it up, so there are 4 huge chambers. I don't even want to say they're rooms, right? 4 huge chambers where people have a lot more dispersed. But now I'm looking at Awesome Con in DC, and they're pitching 70,000 people. Shit, anything over 30,000 people is a great con, right?
Yep.
But it doesn't matter if you don't know how to approach the people, how to grab them, how do you make sure you get them to stay at the table, and you make sure you get them to leave with some of their money.
And
right?
the one thing that New York does is they sell passes per day. They'll sell the whole weekend pass, but they limit them down to a lot. Most cons sell like for the whole weekend, and so the customers that are coming are coming throughout the every day. So what New York does is they'll sell like so many on Thursday, so many on Friday, so many on Saturday each day. So you have more customers coming in every day as opposed to those same customers coming through. Dallas Fan Expo, I think, hit about 90,000 this past year, and it was great because it was populated. But you also got to think that whenever you have those more vendors, and you have that more competition around you as well, so you have to be prepared, and
and you got to know how the
have those
convention
shoes.
operates. So something like New York Comic Con, right? And this is just from experience. We're understanding that if somebody got a Thursday pass because the New York Comic Con sells out so quickly, they know that if they got a Thursday pass, chances are they probably didn't get a full weekend pass.
Right.
So you are hustling on that first Thursday. If you don't make that table by Thursday, you're going to be struggling the whole rest of the weekend, right? Because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Friday people are coming in and they're checking, they're scoping. Unless they're coming in for an exclusive, they're putting you to the back burner, right? So same thing goes for Saturday. Saturday, now you got folks coming in with their families. You're like, oh, yeah, no, we'll come back later. Oh, okay, cool, no problem.
Yeah, right.
And then on Sunday, you got fire sale, right? So you're letting everything go 2 for 1 or whatever because you don't want to pay to bring it back home, right? Or you don't want to lug it back to your crib. And you're here in New York, so you just want to burn it all out. So if you don't make that Monday, if you don't make that table on that very first day, you struggle the rest of the weekend.
Well, here's a question: do you think cons will ever put more focus on comics than movies, TV, and other media?
No.
Well, I think it depends on the show. I still believe Baltimore Comic Con.
Yep, that's right.
Pretty much
I've heard about
just
Baltimore.
a Comic Con. Like,
right.
They have only one
Why?
or two celebrities.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's Baltimore.
But how many other vendors were there? I mean, how many other artists as opposed to just comics?
Too, right, JD?
No, that's because Baltimore is one of the biggest. What is the Ringo Awards going over there, dude?
Yeah.
It's a huge award ceremony.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying, though. It depends on the show. Also, there's also the thing of, these are the bigger shows we're talking about, smaller shows. I was just invited to a tiny show in May, and it's, a high school auditorium type deal. No fee for the table. They just want you to show up and, you vent for the day. And, it's cool. So, I mean, it just depends on what you're going to focus on. You can focus on one of those shows, make a few $100, then go about your business. But you're probably not going to make the big money that you would make at someplace like a New York Comic Con. So it just depends where you're going to want to focus on. So Mr. Rosario, you're up. What's your question?
All right. Are you traveling to Comic Cons to go eat different cuisine, or are you traveling to Comic Cons to make some money?
All right.
Because you gotta have fun with one of them, because you're not gonna enjoy the other. Right.
Sure.
This is. I know this may sound like a joke question, but there's some legitimacy to this.
And the thing about it is, Comic Cons nowadays are the tables are going up, and this is what I've talked to other creators, because again I'm pretty new, so I don't know how much they used to be, but I know how much they are now and how much they seem to be going up per year. So if you're going to go to a Comic Con, you got to think of that dollar figure. Half the time, I don't think a lot of people are making their expense. Now, I'm not going to say table because it costs more than table.
All right,
table,
so
gas,
food. Let me rephrase my question, right? Because
it's connections.
So this is something I've asked prior, but it's important for any creators to understand. What other goals besides financial are you setting at a convention?
Marketing goals for me.
I like the first question.
Marketing goals, super important.
I mean, but you know what? People. That could be a goal, Corissa, right? If I'm going to go to Tennessee, I want to eat something from there.
Well, what I told my husband was, I said, any vacations you want to do now are tax deductible. I just have to go during Comic-Con.
Right.
Yes, that's not a joke, but yes.
No, I even told him we're going to go to Texas next year. We're going to plan it as a trip. And we're going to Kentucky, which isn't that far, but we've never been to Lexington, so we're going to be there for the week. And yes, everything's tax deductible, but I'm definitely not. I'm not going to make a profit because I don't think I will. But I'm more or less going to kind of just talk to people and get my comic out there and get them to, because I can talk my comic up to no end, but when I'm selling online, it's very hard for me to get the point, especially it's a complicated story. So to actually, for people to see the pages and the gorgeous, glossy, thick, books and stuff, and I think it would sell a lot better in person if they could see it and ask questions and talk about it and everything. I think the hardest thing I'm going to have at the con is when to shut up and sell it. So, because I'm just going to talk to these people and get them in. But I think
that's something you got to learn. That's something right, and that comes with time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, and the thing about it, like I said, is those tables are going up just about every year by the month, if you ask me. And if you're getting a table, let's say at 200-300, then you're traveling, an hour or two, spending about $100 so of gas, food, and then even at some of these places,
lodging and
parking.
Other expenses.
So once you add all those expenses up, and you got to figure out, are you going to make this off that con? I hear a lot of creators, and okay, I did 10. I'll tell you straight out, I did 10 cons this year, and I only had one loss, but I think I was very lucky. I was very lucky. Good. So, having said that, I went in thinking, that each one was going to be a loss.
Me too.
But you got to be in that mindset. I'm going to sell every book I take with me. Hey, and you got to learn.
Well, what if you can't? What if you can't? Right. So, what are the other goals that you can achieve at a convention?
Well, it's just like at the end of the day, we just stepping back on the set a lot of, and from a wider perspective. We've been. COVID hit us, and we was just getting back on the set right before COVID.
Right.
And now, it's funny because I have a name because I've been doing this stuff since the 90s. But a lot of my guys that's in my crew, they just building their name. So, I kind of stand back a little bit and push their stuff more, at the end of the day, because, it's like, look, I do role-playing game illustration, so I can always make a buck off doing that. I'm not hurt, but I want them to be able to get out here and feel that, and I want them to be the vanguard instead of myself being the vanguard. So it's more marketing for us right now, getting people to know us again, and getting people to understand us. Because I used to have another crew called Drunken Style Studios before this, and we had done it. We had we was making tables, we was doing everything. But, time changes things. Like Paul was saying, tables were going up, expenses were going up. So it's a whole new ball game. So we just really still trying to learn this ball game too.
Okay. Mark, what else you got?
Mark,
Mark.
I apologize. Mark.
Torres, what you got? What are some of your other goals at a convention?
So most of the times I go to different conventions, I'm usually as press, so it's a completely different horse. Okay. But I go for the food. Everybody who knows me, whenever I go to any convention, I talk to somebody. The third sentence is like, all right, what are we doing after the show? Where we're gonna go eat? That's usually how it goes. But for whenever I do have a table, beyond that is just to talk to other people and try to get more guests and talk to people who I haven't reached out to before, because you're only local, and reaching out to people in San Diego or or Texas or wherever I go, Chicago. It's always great meeting new people that I normally wouldn't see in New York. So it's meeting new people and then the food.
Okay, nice. Calderon, what you got?
Dude, I've done it. Oh wow. Okay, so it depends where I'm at, right? So I've done shows in Miami, where we have family there, so we're just, it's a local commute. But from Miami, we would go up to Orlando and go to Disney World. I've been out in California, San Diego specifically, and we went directly from San Diego to Vegas. Nice. We've gone to Universal Studios. We've gone to Disneyland. We've gone to wherever we can make a trip. We did Chicago back in the day when it was still Wizard World. And we checked out Chicago. We went to the Muda Museum. We went around. It was very nice. I like Chicago. Nice city.
So do I. So
it's a very nice city. Reminds me of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
cracked me up.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of elevated trains. Yeah.
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 And they had your favorite pizza, deep dish.
LA, New York style. Sorry.
Well, we fight with them. Detroit and Chicago fight. We got our own pizza too, so maybe they be fighting.
Yeah, Mark, I'm sorry, man. What you got there is not called pizza, Pop.
Look, we automotive guys, so we make ours in engine blocks, my friend.
You do. That's why I would rather take 99-cent New York pizza over engine block Detroit style, bro. Come on.
I love New York pizza too, but I got to rep the hometown, homie. I got to rep the hometown.
I get it.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Jay, remember when we went to Philly? We walked all that way to get that food. That was it.
That was it, man. It was what? It was you, Peter. We had Brian with us. Was Culas with us? I don't even remember.
I don't maybe.
Maybe.
But I was like, that was our mission. I was thinking about that all day.
There you go, right? So one of your other goals: explore a brand new city that you probably never would have went to before, right? That's one. Two.
That's right.
Corissa, you brought this up for a second, and it is develop your pitch. If you got that free time, work on it. I mean, that's it. Talk about it. Try to figure out different ways to sell it, right? And maybe get some customer feedback at the same time, right? Third, develop your network. Whether it's what Mark brought up, what Torres brought up earlier with the panel, try to find a way to get on a panel, all right? And meet other creators that you may have never met before. Say what's up, see what they know, right? It's all about learning from other people on the job, right? Because there's no school for an indie creator. The biggest thing that people do not work on, and this one hurts me because this is the easiest one, it's to generate that newsletter, right? Get something, whether it's a free book, whether it's a free digital copy. Anybody who comes to your table, give them something for free in exchange for their email, because you don't know when you're going to come back to that city again. It may have been too expensive for you to do that in the future. You may, oh my God, you know what? This is not going to happen. But you developed some sort of customer outreach, so you want to hold on to that. The only way you're going to get that is by securing their email. All right. So at the end of the day, when the convention is over, you break down your expenses and you divide that by every email that you have. And if it comes down to maybe $22 for each email, well, hell, man, you just answered your cost of acquisition per customer. All right. It costs you 22 and change or 34 and change for every customer that may become a potential sale for you in the future. That may not sting if you don't make, that'll lessen the sting if you don't make your expenses from doing a convention outside of your hometown. That's something that people do not do, and that is super important. That newsletter is your key. That's your future, right? Because when we bring in everything that's happening right now in social media, you have control of your own newsletter. Look at what's going on with Twitter, and it's what happened with Tumblr a few years back. People are, leaving the platform in droves. And how many hours did you spend cultivating a network on those platforms, right? That are going to be lost to you. Or forget it. What if you forget your password? What if you get banned and you don't get back in there? At least with your own personal newsletter, you will always have those emails, right? That's something you worked on. That's something you cultivated. And that, besides money, before money, that should be your number one priority when you do a convention, right? Is to build that email, right? Get that email base, right? Generate people who are going to be on that newsletter.
It's funny.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny. They say Jay doesn't listen. He's been listening. It's crazy.
Your Kickstarter, Corissa, is important too, because you're going to be getting a lot of direct email information from there too. Because I know my last Kickstarter I did, I'm still using those email bases.
Am I allowed to take those?
Yes.
Well, they're going to you.
Very simple. When you do your survey, you just ask them the question. You can ask that question.
Yep.
Would you like to join the newsletter? Yes or no? That's simple.
Right. I would put down yes, no, and I'm already signed up.
Yep.
so that'll give them the third option, because there's going to be people who already signed up. So so they can just let you know. Mr. Mark, what's your question, sir?
All right, so I was thinking about this for a couple of days. A while ago, I asked this question. I thought it was going to be a simple question, and it went all crazy. So I'm going to ask it again. Is it more important that people read your book, or if people buy your book?
Nice. All right, all right, hold on. We went all out of whack the last time because Jay asked that question. So this is free for all. But anyway, we're going to start with Corissa, and we're going to work our way around the room. But go ahead.
Oh, definitely read it. It's a long series, and if they were to read it, first of all, I want people to read it. If I was rich, I probably would just give them all away free. So, but I love the comic. I love the story. I would just love it when people read. I had sent out a couple, and I got some letters that said, I read your comic 7 times and now I can't wait for 2. And I'm riding that high for like the next 3 months. And I had a couple other people say, we need 2 now. Like we need it now. So I just love to know that people are reading it and enjoying it. And half the time I will give it to anybody free if they ask. So, you want to read it? I got it. So. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Paul,
I definitely agree. Read it. I mean, the main thing to me was I started this because I wanted to get a story out there. I built a library, which I got 3 titles at the moment. My 4th is coming out, and the reason I did so many titles as opposed to just one is I wanted people to see my ability to write different stuff, but I want them to read my stories I want to know if they're good, so I want people to read it more than anything.
Okay, cool. Mark, how do you feel about it?
I'm definitely with them. I want you to read what I put out. Like I said, read it and absorb it. Tell me whether you like it, whether you don't like it. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah. All right, cool. See, not as crazy as this time.
I know. This is what I was expecting the last time.
Yeah. Jay, what are your thoughts?
You are muted.
You're muted, sir.
I was waiting for that to happen when I saw him muted.
I am a moron. Thank you very much.
Nobody's going to argue.
I am a meatball. Buy it. Odds are that if you buy it, you will most likely read it, right? Because I doubt I am that much of a high-valued collectible that you're going to seal it up and put it away. So I want you to buy it. I have people to pay for, right? This is not free. Offset and production on a book today is nearing $6,000, right? So I can't get that money back if I'm giving it away for free. Say what?
I put 20,000 into my comics so far.
Yeah, comics more than one, right?
Right.
Well, because my first artist I lost $5,000 on, so there's that, and then all the other stuff that I had to other artists. I've already paid this artist for 3, so right there's 3 issues, and we're redoing 1, so I had to pay for that again. Plus the website and all that thing. So yeah, according to my tax report yesterday, it was $20,000.
How many pages?
32 pages each, all glossy and thick.
Full color, black and white.
Full color, baby, all the way.
Carissa, I just have to tell you, welcome to Indy Comics.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Well, the artist I have now is phenomenal and
awesome.
It's his first job and it's my first job, and I have never been more lucky in my life to have this tiny 3-person team that I got, and it was all worth it. Getting screwed over was worth it, and redoing it is worth it, and it sucks, and I probably will never get it back. And I actually all I need is to make enough to pay my artist.
You did get it back because you learned something. Right?
Yep. Yeah,
learning things are not cheap, right?
Yeah.
And you learned the most expensive lesson in Indy Comics, right? And the fact that you can laugh it off means you've earned so many karma points at the same time, because that is painful.
To have the artist I have, it was totally all worth going through it. It was absolutely. I mean, he I think he's the most trustworthy I've ever met. He's into it. He's loyal. He's busting his butt to get one redone before the campaign, and I could not ask for a better artist. Awesome. So it was totally worth it. So yeah.
But it hurt. It hurt like a son of a gun, didn't it?
It hurt like a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Calderon said it. Welcome. Welcome.
Welcome.
Hopefully I got it out of the way and was, I got all the heartache out. And the funny thing is, I knew everyone told me that this happens, and I was like, oh, fantastic. And then it happened. But everyone's like, oh, I got screwed up by this artist. When I went to a con, I talked to all the artists there, and they each said the same thing. I got screwed over by this guy, and I never got money back. And this artist didn't finish for a year, and all this stuff. And I was like, oh man, what am I getting myself into? Yeah. And I just jumped into it like a complete and utter moron. So it was worth it. It's better to be lucky than smart. That's all. That's my logo from now on.
Welcome to that too. How many show of hands? How many people just jumped into this like a moron? How many other people here? There we go.
You see, the mouse. His hand is already raised.
So welcome. I feel so welcome. Company. You're a good company. You're good.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm learning it the hard way, but I got to tell you, every time I get a page, it is like the most amazing thing to see. And like I know Lori yells at me because I am horrible with spoilers, and I've learned to not say anything, but I just want to show everyone every page that comes out. It's just like, look what this is, look what happened, and everyone's like, don't give it all away. I was like, just read my comic.
Show panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I'll have to try to do that then. So, but my artist is kind of unique with his panels, so we'll see how that works out. My old artist, it was panel. This is like panel. It's all over the place.
So so mess with it, and you know what? You can use that one panel. You can show it 4 different times. You could show it pencils, inked, colored, and lettered, right? And multiply that 1 panel per page. Right, so that's 32 panels, 1 a day, leading up to the release of your book, right, or the launch of the book. So people are seeing stuff is coming.
Each one of those panels could be part of your merch too. You can make T-shirts out of every panel if you want.
I even have a mug in here.
Yeah,
these were like $6.
Merch. I'm all for merch.
Lori's like, stop spoiling, but like, I don't even know. I can't really ship these or anything, but I'm so excited to have them. So
you can sell them at cons, though.
Yeah, nice. I could.
Yeah, sell them at cons.
Like $6. So I'm just like,
I bought this from Grand Rapids Con.
Yeah, I really want to find a really good T-shirt place, because I have awesome covers I want to put on T-shirts, but every time I read reviews, they fade or they don't look right.
We'll talk after the show. Depends on what your level is. Do you want to do it yourself, or do you want to have it outsourced? Right. And then everybody talks about mugs. Everybody does mugs. I don't have any of the things with me, but shot glasses. Shot glasses. If I never said it before, I'm going to say this again. Glasses. Shot glasses. Okay.
Right. Oh, shot glasses.
So shot glasses. Okay. So
especially for the age that you're aiming at, shot glasses are great because you're more mature.
Right.
And those shot glasses will bring them to you.
Shot glasses are more collectible. There's a source of people that are collecting just shot glasses. Right. They want to go to different states, stuff like that. For shot glasses, easier to transport. Okay, for 10 mugs, you could bring with you 2 dozen shot glasses, right? That you're gonna sell. I never
even thought of that. I love my logo.
You don't have to worry about size.
And you want to do interesting merch too, because this guy right here, instead of posters, I started busting out these plexiglasses right here.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me where to go. The only thing I have my most unique thing, but it's handmade and it's more expensive, but I'm going to have them at the con, is I have plushie Anubis. And I have 3D Anubis busts. So those are a little bit cheaper.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
I don't. My Anubis is in the mail and should be here any day. And the first one's for me. So, but he has a 3D staff and everything. So I'm super excited to have him done. Everyone seems to
printing is great, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the 3D printing is great, boy.
Nice.
Yeah. So people already wanted to buy him, and I was like, well, campaign first, and then you can pre-order on my website. But yeah. So I'm excited about the plushie. I'm probably the most excited out of all. But yeah.
Nice. Calderon, can you just bring up something that John Epple said a little while back there?
John.
Is that the one? I was gonna mention it. Yeah.
All right. Should I care what people say if they haven't bought it?
Yes.
Haven't
No.
bought it or haven't read
Yes.
it.
I always like to equate comics and movies. So a lot of times you have people that do movie reviews and they get to see it for free.
Yes.
Mhm.
So they do review stuff without paying for it. So
Word of mouth.
is that important that they review it if they don't buy it?
Word of mouth is probably one of your best advertisement things. If you give away one comic to, let's say, a kid in a high school, because I aim towards teenagers, you give one comic away and he's going to go tell his 10 friends. And I've had this go to one convention where I gave one comic away on day one. They brought about 15 people back day two. This comic was so great. You've got to listen to this guy's spiel. You've got to talk and hear and look at his other comics as well. Yes. If you're doing it for advertisement, if you're doing it for marketing, getting someone to review it, why not give them a free comic?
Sure.
I'm not saying to give away free comics all the time, but if you strategically do it, then it's well worth it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I hear you. Let's go back to a second. Earlier we were talking about pizza, right? you just opened up your pizza shop, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, the New Yorker pizzeria. All right, you just opened up your pizzeria. Okay, you got a pizza 2 blocks down. You got a pizza place 3 blocks down. Right? You got people to come in. Are you going to start giving away half a slice to get them to taste your pizza so you can get the money before somebody else does?
How many times do restaurants give out samples? I mean, because I've seen this a lot. I mean, if you're going to give out a sample, it's not a problem.
Ice
Yeah.
cream samples.
The some Japan places, you get the little food on the sticks all the time.
At the mall, you get food sample. I've had pizza places give me samples.
Yeah,
and I've gone to them 100 times.
What malls are you going to? Because my malls in New York, they don't give me nothing for free.
Well,
Jay, I think what it is, they see you coming and they took all the stuff inside.
They got your picture up like Al Bundy. Don't give to this man.
They see you coming. They're like, that's it, bro. Not that guy right there. Back it up. Back it up. Quick.
If you go to an ice cream parlor, they don't give you a spoonful. You don't ever do that? Yeah.
Samples. I mean, strategically, again, you don't want to give away the whole house, but you want to be strategic with it. If you're giving away something to a cosplayer, this is one thing that I did whenever I started doing conventions was like, hey, I'll give you this book if you're going to carry it and tell people about it today for at least 3 hours. And man, I that has drove 10s, 20 people, a good amount of people to my table. So it's like, if you're going to be strategic about it, yes, word of mouth is one of the best advertisements you can get.
Yeah.
Is he talking about spoons?
Yeah, Jake is a comedian. But listen,
he's not wrong, because spoons do. I know people that collect spoons, but I don't know how I would do that.
No, but I don't know. To answer the question for myself, I mean, I think it's an Ouroboros. It eats itself, right? Yeah. It's if people buy the books, they're going to read the books, hopefully. And in the end, I want people to read the books, but I want them to come back and buy the books. Sure. Because just like Jay, I have artists to feed, and the only way I can feed them is by getting in that revenue. So I need as much revenue as I can take. It's one of those things. Is why is the chicken across the road, or what do you have, the chicken or the egg, blah blah blah. It's that sort of thing. It's just like you need cash, and you need cash just to keep going. Because at some point,
he didn't say which would they. He said which is more important. Obviously, we still want to sell it, but
right.
It's more important to me that they read it.
Because it's funny because I give away a lot of my content. I have a website; it's a webcomic. I give away a lot of the content for free, right? Because in the sense that hopefully some of those fans will come back and buy the books, the physical books, which they have. So but I let the people know on the website is like, look, if you want to see more of this, you got to come buy some of these books because if not, I'm not going to be able to continue to do this.
So,
right?
Whenever you're getting books, and I don't know if this is everybody, but when you're getting books, you get a lot of misprints, don't you? I mean, I've always gotten a few.
No.
Well, I got a
No?
hard
No,
copy.
who are you printing with? I would tell you to
Well-
stop printing with them.
Yep.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
I got. my
I
little-
mean, seriously.
They give me extra books, so I'm okay with it.
Well, I mean, if they're covering
Right.
the number of misprints, that's not a problem. You
Yeah.
have a misprint or two, and they're saying, "Oh, we're just throwing those in there because all right,
Right.
whatever." Because
So I give those away to
Wait,
people
there's
who
a
say,
mis-
I can't afford it. I'd love to be able to read your book. And again, give it away. Even if it wasn't a misprint, it's like $2.
Do I have
Give
to
it
check
away.
with you?
well,
It's
here-
not like $2. I'm gonna have to agree
Well-
with the shaking head over there.
Well,
No?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. So, like Jay likes to print offset, and here's something we can both say for offset. When you see the
Right.
first top 2 or 3 books, they're usually trash.
Right.
Those books you can give away because they usually
That's
wreck
what I
because
do.
those are the ones on the top. That's when it gets pressed down, and the other
Right.
box you throw on top,
Right.
they're scuffed, they're messed up. So those you could probably give away.
Yeah,
Um,
and that's what I do. It's like I give it away. Say, look, here's a book. If you go recommend it to or tell people about it, and I'm not saying really recommend it. If you read it, you like it, tell your friends about it. Have them come back tomorrow. If you like it and can spare some money tomorrow, come back and buy one of my other books. And like I said, and that's really brought in a lot of people for me. That saved me a lot of time. So I mean, I recommend it because how much are you going to put into advertising and free stuff that you're going to give away?
Yeah.
I think it kind of adds in if you're giving away one book
Here,
a day.
All right, I'm a big numbers guy.
Okay.
Okay, I have a background in retail.
Right.
Calderon does also. All right?
Mhm.
You got to do your homework with some of this stuff.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say I'm this big to do. I went into this with College Business 101. Everything I've learned has been on the job. All right. There's something in retail called shrink. All right.
Right.
Calderon and I go back and forth with this with the allotment of shrink. 2% is a lot, right?
Right.
I always start off with 10% shrink. 10% shrink means, let's say I'm ordering 3,000 books. All right. I'm taking those top 300 books, and those 300 books will be my giveaways, my 2-for-1s, okay, promotional copies, stuff like that. After those 300 books, I'm not giving anything away because I need to make my money back and I need to turn a profit on those other 2,700 copies.
Okay.
Um,
So having
if you're gonna give away digital copies, yes, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Especially today, it's a digital world, right? So if you want to give away digital books, God bless you. Yes. And you're
That's
talking
what
about word of mouth. Awesome. 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 But you know what? Word of mouth is really not quantifiable. All right. So
Hey, look at that.
ooh. But if you're getting something in exchange, like an email for that free copy, then yes. Because now that $2, your cost of acquisition for a potential customer
There's my Anubis.
off that price.
Yes.
Nice,
Now,
very nice.
I heard you talking about word of mouth, so I thought I'd pull up Carissa's campaign.
There we go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
For
Yes,
free.
So,
Yeah.
Carissa, please
Um,
let us know about your creation here.
So this is the first 3 issues of the book I wrote, and it's pretty much Buffy the Vampire Slayer meets Supernatural and Evil Dead in Silent Hill. It's pretty much there's a war between Angels and Demons, and those two there are intricate parts of it. She's a descendant. Seraphina's a descendant of angels, and he's a descendant of demons. And both sides need her to win the war, and they know nothing about it. So they're stuck in this, this whole war going on. And so pretty much in issue 1, they're trapped in a town merging with hell, and they can't get out. There are hellhounds, zombie mermen, zombified Anubis, ghosts, and zombies and all that fun stuff. And the first 2 issues there. Thanks, Lori. The first 2 issues are slightly crazy, and I get told this a lot. There's a lot that happens, and yes, it is not called Worthy Chaos for nothing. The first 2 books are, crazy. They are absolutely crazy. It balances out a little bit in issue 3, but it never slows down. So you will never be bored. That's the most I can promise you. I mean, it pretty much starts out with the murder of her parents by her demon brother, just rips him to shreds, and that's how it starts. So there is no slow burn whatsoever. So if you want to read an incredibly crazy book that has an incredibly complex and confusing but entertaining story, there's the one. But it's actually it's a long series, but it's split and there's 5 books. So the first 7 issues will be book 1, and then that's going to be done by the end of the year, hopefully. But yeah, so if you want to see things that are being, zombified, I have most of them. And then there's vampires too, and other stuff, and giant lizard creatures. So
I like that you're like, this is all this, and there's vampires in it too. It's like
vampires.
Yeah.
Our vampires are a little different because they're actually called clotters, and they're slightly more realistic, but it's only one species, so I can't have people yelling at me that that's not a vampire. But they're, I always got slightly upset about vampires that if you, cut them, they bleed because their heart doesn't pump, so it really shouldn't bleed. So ours just has like clotted blood because their heart pumps every 6 hours, just enough to keep them from going into rigor mortis. And if they don't feed, they start to decompose like zombies. So I just really wanted zombie vampires. So that.
Are they zombie vampires or vampire zombies?
They're vampires first, so they're vampire zombies.
As long as they don't sparkle, then
no, they don't sparkle. But in original lore, they were not killed by the sun. So here they just they can't be in it because they'll get burned or whatever. But they don't, puff up, or they don't shine either. But it follows the original lore that there is no lore that they burst in the sun. That was just something that was added. So we stuck to the original. But they don't go in the sun. They don't instantly die. So there's that. But yeah, so there's that lore, and I have around let's see, book 3, which is like issue 14. It goes into a whole zombie mode where it's kind of like Resident Evil 2, where they're trapped in a city full of zombies and laboratory monsters and things like that. So there's things. Yeah. The Clotters. I just love the name. We're like my everyone's like, you need a unique name. I was like, there's no unique name. They're Clotters. They're just vampire Clotters. But it is gross. I think it's actually grosser when you cut them into pieces. They just have this disgusting clotted mess that comes out. So that's interesting. Also, the stake doesn't kill them because their heart's not pumping. So originally the stake was because it stakes them into the ground so they can't get up in their coffins. But we just have it where if you stake them and it's with close to the 6 hours, then maybe it'll eventually kill them. But generally you have to chop off their heads or burn them. So that'll be fun.
So now, you mentioned the lore. How much research did you go into this before writing your story?
Every single demon and angel are based on scripture or true myths. Like Seraphina's father is Reminal. He's the judgment of souls and the thunder angel. And he protects the main weapon, which is the logo. And it is the weapon that holds all the souls. And his father is Asmin, which is the demon of chaos, who devours souls and is immune to thunder. So it actually worked out perfect. And everyone you can look up into scriptures, that's their jobs. Like the angel that follows them and was supposed to protect them was Chemiel, which is the angel of true love and conflict resolution, because you can't have one without the other. So they all have their particular duties. So there's a lot of research. We made sure everything fit. Like, for example, I staked one of the demons with an with a steel rebar, and I had to look up to make sure there was iron in it. And apparently it's 97 to 99% iron. So it works. But we looked up everything that, hopefully everything, so there isn't the person out there that is going to look it up and say that doesn't happen. Also, our runes are all accurate. We used runes a lot, and they spell like Asmin has his name in runes as a tattoo on his face, and it spells it. We have warnings in the caves that are in rune, and you can look them up, and they're all accurate. So we like to stick to that. So yeah, we did a lot of research for this.
Cool.
All right, cool. Now, you said this first arc is 7 issues?
So the first arc, yes, is 7 issues, and 3 is coming out in this campaign, and they're 2 and 3 are completely done. 1 is getting redone now and will be done before we launch, because I make sure that everything's done because I don't want to disappoint people. And then it'll be probably starting in March, 1 a month or 1 every other month. So it should be, book 1 should be out by the end of the year, and then we'll have a graphic novel for that. And it'll be really great. And we have a variant cover for our issue 2, which is from Iron Chase Nichols. He did the Tick and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Red Sonja, and it's awesome. It's got Anubis on the cover, of course. And also, as a random thing, we had a song made. So there is a song. We have a theme song, sort of, but the lyrics and the vocals were all done based on our comic book. So we have that too, and it's actually really good. And I actually listen to it all the time. So. But it's got a nice beat to it. So yeah, we put a lot of thought into this comic. So, but the whole series is already written. I wrote 5 unpublished novels, and it was just too good to waste. But not, novels weren't with the direction it was going in. So I thought comic books would be the perfect way to go. So.
All right, that's cool. Now, how many arcs are you looking to have?
There is. Well, so there's 5 books for this series 1. There's 2 other series that are written. Well, there's one of the series is written. There's Damnation, which will be written. It's the prequel where the angels start, and the 2 main characters are soulmates, and they've lived every 100 years. So we get to put them in each time period. So they're going to go through medieval times and Vikings and all that stuff. So we get to create very unique ways of them dying, which would be nice. And the other series is Salvation, and it's actually an arc of kind of like a what if story. We already have 25 issues written for that, and still writing that weekly. But in this story, they actually get separated for 10 years and think the other one's dead. And in that 10 years, she becomes a supernatural hunter and he becomes an assassin. But in the spinoff, they actually run away with each other as teenagers, and now they're completely untrained, still being chased by demons and angels and monsters, but now they have absolutely no training whatsoever. And it actually was more interesting than I thought it was going to be, and it actually wound up being this huge event that happened. So we're going to eventually do that too. So I'm excited for that as well. But right now we're doing series 1, which is Redemption. And then there's a series 2 for this later on, if it gets popular enough, where they travel through different cultures, and they get to go through like Greek gods and Celtic gods and stuff. Anubis will be there because there'll be Egyptian gods and stuff. So we have a lot of ideas for this.
Okay, that's cool. Now, when do you plan on launching? Because I see this is just the sign up page. So when are you looking to launch?
January 24th.
Okay, very nice, very nice. All right, so you've saved it for the next lunar calendar year, right? So so what is it? I don't even know what today is. So it's the 22nd is the Chinese New Year. The 22nd.
Yeah, so the 24th. Yeah. Well, I was told you have to launch on a Tuesday, so it's Tuesday, 24th. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Very nice. So everybody, please, I put this in the show notes so you can get the link from there. Go to the website and sign up so you know when this book is coming out. All right. Worthy Chaos, Redemption, a horror adventure comic issues 1 through 3. Very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks awesome. I got one more thing to share out.
So while he's looking that up, I'm going to share a quick story about what I was asking about Corissa with her research. I was at a panel in New York Comic Con, and it was the Beast Wars panel. And this guy came up, and he was one of those guys, as you said, that will question one of the behind-the-scenes stuff. And he went all out on this question. He was like really proud of himself with the time travel thing, and he was just going. And I'm watching the guy who's going to answer the question. He has this smile on his face, like, this is going to be the best answer ever. And he actually takes a good 5 minutes asking this question. And he goes, I just want to tell a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's all it is.
I'm a huge nerd, and I'm used to the nerds asking the questions because my brother's the type to ask it, and I am horrible too. I'll watch a show and I'll be like, that's not how that would go, and we always joke about it all the time. And I don't know if you've ever watched Pitch Meeting on YouTube, but he does that he always talks. He's just like, because so the movie can happen. So yeah, that's a good answer. So the story can happen is pretty much how that goes. But yeah. So.
Did you like the finale of Supernatural and then the Winchesters?
I haven't watched the new Winchesters yet. I plan to, and I did like the ending actually a lot.
All right.
I know that.
All right. Hold on. Wait. No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
Before we go on,
Paul. Years. But yes, it is a good story, and I do like the ending. I actually hung out with all of them at least one point. Like Loki, I don't know if you Loki, Gabrielle, I hung out with. I actually got to sit on his lap while he bought me drinks.
Misha, that's a story.
Yeah. Misha as Castiel, I went on a short cruise with, and I got to have dinner with him, and he dances very great when he's drunk, and he's super, super nice. I got to talk to Jensen for half an hour, and I pretty much talked to everyone for at least a certain amount of time. They're genuine. They're exactly fun and happy-go-lucky when you see them. And I actually just went to a con with my husband. I took him for the first time last month, right before Christmas. And he liked it more than I thought he would. So that was good. But yeah, they're very genuine people. But I love Supernatural, and I watched it all. And my story is pretty much because I love Resident Evil, but it has a lot of supernatural tendencies in there. So yeah, it's I'm happy with the way it ends. Go watch it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm up to halfway through season 13. So
yeah, I had to start from the beginning again because my husband's never seen it. So now we're I think last night or today we watched episode 14 of season 14. So he's almost through it. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, you're further along it. Well, I just wanted to bring this up. This is my campaign, On the Wings of Deidre, 1 through 3. It's the entire limited series. It's 3-issue limited series that'll be coming out. It's the continuing adventures of Oswald. If the greatest sorcerer of our time was to be reborn in the body of a mouse, that's Oswald. So that's his thing there. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. So you can just sign up, and then you'll be notified, and then you can really go check out the series. But also, this is available on my website. You can go to YoswaldChronicles.com and you can check it out there as well.
I definitely want that. My prequel has a mouse guardian named Apollo, so I'm all into mice.
All right, cool. All right. So look, I got another question for you guys.
Hold on, right? Before you go to the next question, Paul got a link for his pre-launch page also.
Oh, he does? Where?
Yes. He just put it up in the private chat. It was the first.
That's why he's the co-host.
Yeah, boy.
What's this?
Yeah. What's this? What's this? I can't believe my eyes.
Oh, I love that.
Okay, cool. Nice.
You have a filler story, Jay, or we're waiting?
Yeah, I had a nice steak today. It was delicious. know, I basted it in rosemary and butter and salt. And, you know, I wish I could have shared some. No, I'm glad I didn't share any because why? That's why it worked. No.
So the steak that I had, I did not. This was my first time ever going to a place that was a la carte. I didn't know what that meant. So I went there and I just had a steak and a salad because I didn't know.
It happens. We all learn.
Here you go, Paul. So what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at the pre-launch page, basically, you know, just set up. We're going to be launching February 17th. This is Prelude to Aurora, which is my fourth IP, I guess you could say, going to be my fifth book out. This is going to be about gargoyles versus demons and a chosen one kind of story. And it's very unique. And like I tell people, you know, every story has a beginning. Some just happen to have a prelude to Aurora.
I'm gonna need this too.
All right, so I have to ask, which one's the good guys and which one's the bad guys, or is it ambiguous?
Well, it's kind of it kind of sets you in that motion whenever you start going in there, because it's going to ask that question in the first few pages. I really wanted to throw it out there whenever I started doing the advertisements. Which one do you think is going to be the good guys or the bad guys, and who would you trust at that point? And one of the main things that I wanted to go into in this book is like, what would you give your life for? You know, would you give your life just for a friend? Would it have to be a family member? Would you give your life for humanity? But, you know, if you're stuck in the middle of that big fight, you know, this is where the prelude comes in before the beginning of the huge story.
Nice. Now, it says it's a one shot?
No, this is going to be the first book of at least 3. I've been talking with a few of my collaborators, and they're trying to talk me into making an ongoing series, and I can see how it could be. But whenever I originally wrote it, it was a 3-issue series. Right. So I'm kind of on the fence at that moment. I'm going to make the decision before I hit that launch button whether it's going to be an ongoing thing or a mini series, if you will.
Well, I mean, this could always just be the first arc of a longer series.
Yeah, right? Yeah, definitely. I wrote 3 of the books out, and to me, it was kind of like my Star Wars, you know, 3-parter kind of thing. But like I said, I've had a few people read them, and they're like, man, this is so great. You have to make this a continuous thing. And I was like, I'm currently working on my flagship book, which is Bushiboo Circus Mysteries, and that's going to be 12 issues at least. So I didn't know if I really wanted a second continuous project. Besides, I've got other projects in the wing that I'm not going to touch until at least I get done with, you know, some of the ones that I already started.
All right, very nice, very nice.
So do you find it more important to focus on one IP at a time, or is it going to be trying to get your hand to see which one catches and then focus on that one?
Well, the reason I did so many, because like I said, this is going to be my 4th IP. The reason I did that was because I wanted to test my boundaries. My first book that I put out was PTSD, and that was a 22-page one-shot. And I wanted to see if I could do a one-shot. A lot of people say it's harder to do that because you have to do that complete story in there. With Bushiboo, which is my flagship, that's going to be 12 issues, and I wanted to make it my big story, if you will. Cryptic Haze was a 3-part miniseries, and then I originally was planning Prelude to be a 3-part miniseries. But with having an LCS that's talking about sponsoring this book, and like I said, a few other collaborators saying, hey, this needs to be an ongoing thing, not just 3 issues. So it kind of got me to stop in my tracks saying, maybe. Because I got, like I said, a few other projects I really love to work on. One that I wanted to make an ongoing thing, but I don't want to touch it until I get some of these done.
Time.
Yeah.
Time is the killer, huh?
Well, money is the killer. I tell you what, if I had the money, I would have 4 projects going at one time. If I had the money.
Jay, the same thing. Jay, they're the same thing, aren't they, Jay? Time and money.
Time and money.
Yeah,
that's
time
it.
is the most expensive thing in the world. Because if you don't got it, you got to pay somebody else to do it.
Very true.
You got one more, man. You want to check out Mark's
I'm bringing it up.
You can always get more money, but you can't get more time.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Unless you fly in reverse.
You know, when I was in high school, I asked my teacher about it. I was like, "You keep on going. Can you keep on going backwards in time?" And he looked at me like I had 8 heads. He was like, "No, you'll eventually run to the international timeline." I was like, "Oh," I was all disappointed.
Oh,
but you could gain a few hours. I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, Mark, what are we looking at here? What do we?
Okay. This is Judah Fist, 7 Deaths of the Yobis, my webcomic / print comic as it's put together every 3 chapters. This is about Amaru Jones. This guy, he is a bioweapon from our time who wakes up 70 years in the future. He finds out that he has some nieces and nephews, and he's not a family guy, but he definitely has a rigorous code, which means you take care of family. So he doesn't want to get back into the games that he was into before, but he has to because he got to take care of family. And then the thing is that his main his arch nemesis at first is the state and the welfare office because they want to take his kids. So I mean, again, he gets back into bounty hunting and all that type of stuff, and he finds out that there are remnants of the guys who were fighting 70 years ago that are still that are actually running the show nowadays. So, he's got to battle them, and he finds out that ultimately, they got some connection to his kids. So, he's not liking that at the end of the day. So.
All right, so this brings me with 2 questions. First one, what if his family is jerks? Does he still have to go for family always?
Oh, yeah, they're jerks regardless. They still got to, go for them. They're kids. They might not always be jerks, They might grow out of that phase.
All right. When you do a story that has a time jump, do you actually fill out the time frame that passes by? Do you actually have it all written down what happens in those 70 years?
I do a chronology. So I know, so I'll have stuff to pull back from, so let's say I'm like, oh, okay, let's say these guys talk about what happened 20 years ago, and I always got it in there, so it just helps me fill out the world a little bit better. Yeah.
How much effort do you put into that unseen portion of your work? Because that's something that's only you're going to see.
Well, it's fun though, but people will eventually see it because I'm going to take stuff from it. I just like I'm an organized guy. So I like to make sure everything is organized and that, all my T's are crossed, my I's are dotted, stuff like that,
Very nice. Are you going to be doing a campaign? Do you do campaigns?
Yeah, I'm going to do a campaign to get this colored is what I'm going to do. I'm drawing all this and writing it myself. So,
wow.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a campaign to get it colored.
What's the turnaround between when you start the idea to when it's finished and on the screen like that?
I'm going to tell you this and you guys are going to slap me. I've been working on this idea for 30 years.
Welcome to the club, man.
Seriously, yep.
Yeah.
You're not the first one at this table.
Oh, okay, y'all. Now I feel love now. I feel some love.
Mine's 17 years, so I'm catching up.
That book is crowdfunded 30 years, so I know how it is.
Yep, so you know how it is. So, I mean, a lot of this stuff, all these scenes have played in my head for years. So,
nice.
Yeah, no, it's funny because, like, we talk about the superhero genre. That's why I'm always saying, Jay, that every genre is valid because this started out as a superhero comic, but then I got into sci-fi a little bit more, and I was like, man, I can get away with murder if I turn into a sci-fi comic. So I turned into a sci-fi comic.
Nice.
Yeah, Mark, it comes out to this, and Calderon is always busting my chops, right? But stories are just the curtains on your windows, right?
Sure.
37 thematic, dramatic situations. That's it. Right?
I'm telling you, it's 38. It's 38.
It goes beyond man versus man, man versus nature.
Machine. Yeah, right.
Right? So it's just how you dress it all up, man. Whether it's superheroes, whether it's zombies, whether it's horror. Yes, I separate zombies from horror because it's become its own genre. Whether it's sci-fi, whether it's anthropomorphic animals, and I'm always stuttering. I can't ever get that word. Anthropomorphic.
You had
Just
it
say
right the first
furries.
time.
Just say furries.
The furries. Gotcha.
Anthropomorphic. Is not that hard. Jesus.
Yeah, oh my god! I just told you it's hard for me. It's hard for me. Okay.
I'm dyslexic. It's hard for me too. It's okay.
I'm glad I didn't put that word in the radio play.
Come on, you need to be. Oh, more people need to know about you.
It's funny, like I'm a big I like those hood movies, so I'm like, man, what would the hood be like in the future?
Yeah.
You get to see a lot of that in this book.
So is it safe to say, Mark, that people that like Attack the Block would be into
people that like Attack the Block would be into this. People like there's some New Jack City elements in it.
Yeah.
There's some what else, man? There's some Blade Runner elements in it, you know.
Okay.
So
okay.
you know, folks, I think that's probably a good manifestation right there. Yeah.
Very nice. So when are you expecting to maybe launch the campaign?
I'll probably be launching that campaign in June because I'm going to be starting chapter 2. I already got chapter 2 written. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing chapter 2 probably in about another week and a half. Let's say 2 weeks, because I'm finishing up 10 pages for my letterer. He's a writer too, so I'm finna draw 10 pages of his comic right now. So after that's done, I'll be jumping on chapter 2.
So here's a tip: don't take another 30 years to make issue.
Oh yeah, I can't do that. It's funny because like when I started this, man, I was like during the pandemic, I'm sitting up here nursing this thing, and I'm like, forget that, I'm done. I drew the first page, I'm like, I'm done. I ain't nursing anything. I'm putting this out. And my other partner had one of my other buddies has a web comic out called The Extras, and he was already going. We found him an artist, and he started going. And I just said, who are you publishing through? Yeah, I'm publishing through these guys. I'm like, okay, bet. I made an account and I tossed the page up there that day. And
all
then
right, I got a question for you, Mark.
That?
Would you say this falls into Afrofuturism or no?
That exactly is what it falls into. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's exactly what it falls into.
I'm with it.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, listen, this looks awesome. So, in the end, how many pages are you looking to make? How long is the entire story going to be?
About 72 pages. You mean the entire story or the first arc?
Well, the first arc.
Oh, the first arc is going to be like 72 pages.
Okay.
And then how many arcs are you looking to have in there?
It's about 7.
About 7 arcs. Okay, cool. Are they all going to more or less be the same length as far as page count?
It'll go from like 27 to 32 pages per issue to per volume. I mean, sorry, for chapter, and then you know, some of them may be longer, maybe more chapters than others. But this is the first one. This is going to be 3 chapters. Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Very nice. Very nice.
And thank you, guys. I absolutely appreciate it.
See, so you read it for
that's the cover.
and then you buy it.
No, I'm with it, man. I want to see it in color. I really do. I really do want to see this in color, man.
I'll shoot you guys some links later on and to show you guys. I got some color pages.
Secret links.
Okay. Well, I want to check that. Yeah, man.
Looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Because I remember I was watching. I don't know. You saw Yasuke on Netflix.
Oh yeah. I seen Yasuke. Yeah.
Right, and you know, I love how it was feudal Japan, but because it's anime, they said fuck it. You know what I mean? And they threw robots in there. They threw, you know, I mean, it was a whole hodgepodge of stuff. So it's like, was it the future? Was it the past? You know, was it a totally divergent timeline?
Afro Samurai's like that too.
It was, but it's totally different. Afro Samurai is more grittier. You know, it's set in you know, a post-apocalyptic setting, whereas Yasuke was not. So it's like without the color, I can't tell. You know what I mean? Is this Megalopolis?
It's definitely going to be Megalopolis. Absolutely.
Is it more Blade Runner or is it more Fifth Element?
Well, the funny thing is,
mysticism implied in it.
I think to myself, I keep asking myself, I'll say again, you know, I think about the Bronx, I think about Harlem, I think about Brooklyn. I've been there and spent plenty time there. So I look at those guys, I look at those towns, and I look at, you know, Detroit, and I say, okay, what would this be? I'm a big speculative fiction guy. So I'm like, what would this be like 70 years in the future if everything kept doing what it's good doing? And so that's basically what I base a lot of stuff off of.
Are you a Judge Dredd fan? So like he was saying, Megalopolis.
Heck yeah, man! I love Mega City 1. You crazy?
It's like the entire Northeast is this giant city.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I love Mega City 1.
Yeah, Mega City 1. Oh, that's crazy. All right.
And there has to be a little bit of RoboCop because of the Detroit connection.
Oh
right?
yeah, it got to be. You know,
CP, baby.
Unfortunately, the cops are most of the cops. Not to say some of them, but most of them. Unfortunately, the ones in the hood are dirty as the day is long. But not all of them are dirty.
I mean, yeah, we're from New York, so we know what you mean. But here you go. I got a question for everybody that might well, we'll see. Here's a question. What are the last 2 books that you have purchased on crowdfunding, or even the last 2 indie books that you have read?
I read Carissa's book last night.
Yeah, I read yours, so I can say I actually read 2 of yours, so those could be mine. But I also read Path of the Pale Rider, so those I read the last 3, and yesterday I read 3. So
and then I had reread Sam's book. Toilet, yeah.
There's an alien
in the toilet. Yeah.
All right.
Back his new campaign that just went up.
Hey, I gotta find that. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
He just got funded. Well, excuse me, he funded his first night.
Yeah, he funded his first night, so he's doing good.
Yeah.
Mark, what are you thinking? Or what do you have?
The books we got at the convention, Rosario. Remember Chris Virgos? I read those 2 books, the last books I got.
That's right.
It was Teddy's and the one with the mask. Yes. I can't remember the name of them with the mask, but those are the last 2 I read.
Yes. Oh my God, Teddy's. I forgot about that. That's right. Holy shit.
It was like this kid. He went to a world where all the teddy bears were like murderous people, and it was kind of cool. Yeah, like killer teddy bears in this crazy fantasy nightmarish world. And then the other one was like a sci-fi thing where they had different masks and they all had different powers, and it was like they had like a vault where they kept the masks in, and then the other guys were trying to break in to steal the mask. But I can't remember the name. Do you remember the name?
I don't. Because I like Teddy's.
You like Teddy?
You guys are horrible friends.
It's Chris Burgos. Go look up his stuff. Google Chris Burgos. That's the only one I know. His books come up. Or listen to our show where we talk about him.
That's right. Should invite him on. Calderon, on your show.
Listen, he's your friend. You could be more than happy to
met him, bro.
That's more contact than I've had with him. Right? So Mr. Dudley, you have anything?
So it's funny. One of them is our own book, The Extras. That's our all ages book, and the other one is this book called Waifu. What is this thing called? I read this thing. It was crazy. It's what is it? I cannot remember the name for the life of me. I'm getting, my age is showing. But it was kind of like it's a manga slash the heck is this thing? I'm looking for it right now, as a matter of fact. Yep, it escapes me, man. So I can't tell you exactly the name of this book, but it's definitely this is the flyer for the book right here. Waifus, it was something. It was crazy though, man. Like I said, I'll shoot it to you once I find this book. It was crazy, man. You know how people are getting these pillows and stuff that are waifus and whatnot, and the pillows come to life and they start kicking the incel dudes' asses. And
there was a couple that married their pillows.
There was
a
guy who married a video game character. You heard about one of the guys who married a video game character?
Yeah. Yep. But the pillow one was, at least he has a physical object.
This pillow was kicking this dude's ass. This pillow was pulling out samurai swords on this dude, all sorts of stuff.
That pillow was like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah, the pillow got tired of getting touched. Okay, yeah, the pillow did get tired of getting touched.
Yeah, see. I don't blame
The
him.
book's name was Vizards, Vizards, and I put the link at chrisburgos.com. You can look at the stuff there. So, haha.
There
You
you go,
remember
man.
stuff. I don't remember stuff.
That's right, Mark. Mark's a fucking tome of knowledge.
Mhm.
A god of memory.
Well,
That's
I
why
see him as a hostage, so I'm stuck in that.
that's why he's the Coco, because I can't, the co-host. Jesus Christ. So Jay,
Hold on a second. We got our images up. What you got?
hey, listen, I got you, bro. That's what I got. So Jay,
Yeah, what's up?
what have you been?
I can't read, man. I'm illiterate as shit.
Don't,
No.
Don't open the door, bro. Don't open the door. That's all I'm saying.
I'm so literate I can't watch a movie.
Oh, man! Wow.
No, I'm gonna go with Mark, yeah, because those are the last 2 books I got before Christmas. But aside from that, we got Jorge Medina's Wonder Duck, which the 2nd issue is gonna be coming out soon. And yeah, Alien on My Toilet. And I got before Christmas. I haven't read it yet, but I got Marvin Wins the Edge that I got off his last Kickstarter. That he is now also in retail. He's in Diamonds. That's right. He's in previews right now. That's right.
Yeah. Very, very nice, very nice. And if he has the other one, Beowulf, right?
Right. Grant Lankard's Beowulf is out there also.
Yeah. So coming out. All right.
Me scared to death.
Cool.
Diamond got me scared to death.
Why?
Hey man, look. Yeah, you guys are messing with big numbers, dude. I'm still a small guy right now. You're messing with small.
It's numbers. It's numbers, right? And here's the thing: if you can play it, and if you can't, don't.
Right.
Look, and it's funny because I'm working on the video and I want to break this stuff down. The difference between crowdfunding, or one of the differences between crowdfunding and direct to retail, right? You got direct to retail and you got direct to crowdfunding.
Right.
And your margins on crowdfunding are a hell of a lot larger than your margins are going to be for retail. That's a different game you're playing. I'm not saying not to do retail. If you can do it, you can rock it. Go to town. I'm not saying not to do crowdfunding, right? It's just
See, it's fear though too, Jay, because I got my guys, man. They follow. They've made we made our compact, and we rolling together and whatnot, and especially being the OG around here, man. You don't want to lead your guys into no bullshit, and that's what scares me more than anything. I don't want to lead them into no bullshit.
I mentioned this just a touch last week, but when Dinesh was running Valiant, before he started the Bad Idea, I remember an interview and he was saying that 80% of the revenue that they generate only comes about from 18% of the retail outlets that are out there.
Right.
So you get a lot from a little. And that's coming with known properties. We're not known.
Right.
We're not, right? So the hustle is different. And that's the foundation of what you got to look at. Where is, in my opinion, where is your energy going to be better invested? Right? Let's just say, for argument's sake, you're calling all 2,000 plus stores.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? And it's going to take you a minimum of 10 minutes.
Sure.
To develop your pitch. That's 10 minutes times 2,000. What's the number on that? Right? Do you have that much time to do it when you're wearing that many hats? And you still got to produce this book, that book. You're the artist. You got the team. Or are you better suited taking that time and building your Kickstarter, right? Spending that time, or your crowdfunding campaign, spending that time in developing a proper campaign, spending that time on developing a proper promotional packet for that campaign, right? So if you're going to be doing your Kickstarter, it's going to sound weird, but this is work, man.
Fuck yeah.
What are going to be your posts going into it, right? Your updates. You got to work on that too. And do you have enough time to work on that on the fly? Or do you got the time to pre-plan that so you can work on other things that are going on before you go into promotion?
Man, look, we did pretty well on that first Kickstarter, man. But still, you talk about time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This was back like 10 years ago. So it was time, bro.
And look, I'm not knocking people that are going into the retail section. I'm not. right? If you want to talk to anybody, talk to Marvin. Marvin is a great dude. He's a great networker. He's done a lot of legwork, right? He's done a lot of outreach, and he's got his list of stores that work with him, right? But Marvin is still also doing crowdfunding campaigns, also, right? But he's got a team to do this stuff with him. I don't, right? It's me. Right. And then from a personal standpoint, as a New Yorker, I run with a chip on my shoulder. And
I got that chip from you guys. I got it.
and I tried going into the stores and doing the whole Oliver Twist. They have some more, you know what I mean?
Right.
That shit is hard.
You New Yorkers ain't no beggars, buddy, and I got that from you guys too.
Yeah, it's hard, but man, sometimes it's worth it. Like I said, on this new campaign, I've already got a LCS willing to sponsor me and wanting to do a store exclusive. That's going to be some good money. And this is stuff that like I tell people, figure out what your plan of attack is, your business strategy. I think that it has to be, whenever it comes to comics, it should be crowdfunding, cons, LCSs, and like I say, nowadays it's whatnot as well. If you put any of those away, I think you're leaving money on the table.
You want to use everything, whatever. But even with our stuff, I find it's funny, the Afrofuturism stuff. The stores don't want that, so that's cool. We have other stuff. We got our all ages stuff, so I hand them the all ages stuff, and then they can't wait for the manga to come out. It's not. I tell people all the time. I tell my buddies, all my guys in my crew, this ain't the Mark Dudley show, buddy. So let's get it moving.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was, and I had to ask somebody. Yeah, I was gonna say because
is a local comic store.
Yeah. I'm going to. I think that's the only retail I would do. Like I have 3 comic book stores near me that are gonna display mine, and I have 2 that I'm gonna do book signings in March.
Good.
Signings are great.
Yeah. I'll trade cookies.
Yes.
What kind of cookies?
Man, she makes great cookies.
Yeah, she does. But I don't think that I would do.
I've never had any of Lori's cookies. I gotta catch up with Lori and get some.
I've only seen pictures of
it. We have information to trade. I know Jay will sell his entire house.
I'd trade my IPs for her cookies. They're that good.
Okay. Hey, we local, so I'm gonna catch up with her.
So hold on, guys. Mark, can I just ask you a question? What is your concern with Diamond? Like, what's the BS you're concerned about?
Well, no, it's not really so much. I'm concerned. It's just that you dealing with. It's kind of like what's so funny. We usually do print on demand and stuff like that, right?
Right.
But when you're dealing with Diamond, let's say that you do a hit. Let's say it is a hit. Then you got to start doing what Jay does. You got to go to offset at that point. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the thing. Right. So I don't know the offset game as well as I know the.
Yeah. What's that minimum number for offset?
2,000 to 3,000.
Usually 1,000.
I've never done it.
Yeah, I used to know it, but like I said, times change.
I'll be honest with you. At minimum, I would say 2,000 to 3,000. I would say 3,000 really, because that's where you're going to get your best price break, right, per unit, right. And here's one of the things that I've discussed with Jay. I've discussed with a lot of other guys, and it's just putting together a small collective. Me and Jay were involved in a situation where we got 9 people together. Well, we got about 5 people together. We put together 9 books, 32 pages, full color, blah blah blah, and we were able to get a really good price from one printer. And we all group ran it at one time, and because of that strength of that group, we were able to print, these books at a reasonable rate.
I had this idea, and I don't know if I'm going to go with it. I was thinking about getting everyone in the DFW community, because there's at least 20 creators around here, and if we could go and do some offset books, man, we would save so much money, because I know all of us are doing.
Right, but you got to make sure you got to make sure that they get their stuff ready on time, because one delay means X amount of thousands books not being printed, which affects the end cost for you.
Exactly.
Right?
I just ordered I think my price point for mine that I saw was 1,100. So I ordered 500 or 550 of the 2 and 3, because I know they're going to take forever to get here. So I ordered those.
Is that offset or is that
on demand?
That is the I ordered from I ordered from the
Comics Wellspring.
Comic Springs.
Yeah,
Man, them guys are doing business, boy. Comics Wellspring, they're local to Michigan too. I know those guys pretty well.
But like right now, I've got 5 IPs. You know, the new one coming out. Now I was thinking about doing 1,000 of each, and then bringing in other creators around here, saying, "Hey, how many of yours do you want?" So we can add those numbers in and get that cost to come down. Because I'm so used to only doing for one comic that it was only less than about 1,000. I think I did, my biggest was 1,000. So.
Now here's the thing though. Here's a couple of wrenches to throw in from the monkey, right? So when we did it, like I said, we have 5 different creators, a lot of them with a lot of experience in the business. On my end, we handled the pre-press. It was primarily my wife, Daphne. She's excellent at that. She went to school for it. She's really good at it. I also went to school for printing and blah blah blah, but whatever. But so we have an idea of what we're doing.
Sure.
So, but despite that, and despite the fact of us explaining it, it still took each publisher at least 2 to 3 times for us to get their files back from them, at least 2 to 3 times, because they had to fix issues, whether it be CMYK, font issues. There was all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. It was a learning process.
Even me, I had hiccups as well.
Especially him.
Like file types and sizes and all that. Yeah.
Let me just throw this number at you guys, at everybody for a second. Offset printing, right? In this gang printing collective, right? 9 different books were made. 32 pages each, full color.
Yep.
3,000 units, right? And it came out to arguably about $1,800.
Damn, that's how much I paid pretty much for the 1,100.
It was 65 cents each.
Yep.
Yeah, per book. And here's the thing:
and we sell the books for $5 a pop.
Right.
We paid 62 cents. Now, I don't know much about business, but what I do know is that most businesses operate on a 20 to 40% margin. We're operating on over 400%.
How long does it take for them to get to you?
The printing process is 2 weeks.
Wow.
The process is 2 weeks, another week for shipping. I mean, you got to remember, we were dealing with a big press. You know, these are professional. Not to say that the other presses aren't professional, but it's just that the systems they have they move a lot faster. Like these are not like some of the places some of the smaller guys we're dealing with, the PODs. They might not be running maybe 1.5 shifts. These places are usually running 3 shifts. So it's a 24-hour operation, 7 days a week in some cases. So, you know, they have to keep those presses moving. But the thing is, though, the reason it was at 65 cents is because the paper prices started moving up because of the pandemic. And what in the beginning was like 52 cents.
Right.
And we had to keep pushing our dates back because not everybody was ready. And we're like, okay, we have to keep pushing. But by the time we got it, it was 65 cents. But we did have it at 52 cents at one point. I don't know what it would be like today. I don't know how the paper situation is rolled out. So
they're crying about a paper shortage. Is real. I don't know if that's still going on or not.
Yeah, but going from like $2 a book to like 60 cents, 70 cents a book, man, my profit will like jump.
Yeah, I would totally. I'd pay 3,000 to get that cheap. I mean, I already.
So that's when you level up, right?
Right.
That was Calderon's first question of the night. What are you doing to level up?
Sure.
Now, this is not knocking anyone. Not everyone can do that. I know it's hard. Okay, but Corissa said it a second ago, right? What she spent for 1,100 books was the same she would have spent for the offset print run.
Yeah.
So if you're spending the money anyway, why not do that? Now,
Sure.
You may not have the space. Understandable. But Paul, you got into this for a second, right? You just made that statement. Imagine how much money you would have made. Right? When you brought it down from $2 to 65 cents. And now you're selling it for $5 a pop. Now you want to give away free copies? Well, fuck yeah, you could give away a free copy.
I really like that. I mean, the hardest thing, I don't even know how many to bring to each con because I've never done a con before. I mean, I might need 5. I might need, 50, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, you're gonna need more than 5.
Yeah, you need more than 5.
All right, so this is one of the things that I harp on when I do this and whenever I'm on a show with anybody else, right? There's a business aspect that so many creators don't understand. And it's not that you needed to get a degree for doing this. You just need to understand the numbers, right? And it's not just, hey, I have a book. No, if you want to be successful enough to make the second book or to complete telling your story, you need to invest your time into understanding these numbers.
Yeah.
So but in fairness, it's not exactly intuitive either.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's something that has to be learned. It's something that, you know, we all need guidance in, because I mean, as long as I've been in it since '92, and listen, I'm still learning, right?
No doubt.
That was what, like I said, one of the main reasons that I'm getting with this new publisher is because they can help me out more, and they're going to probably be picking up most of my printing stuff nowadays. But me doing it on my own, this is where I was, and with my older publisher, I was printing mostly on my own at that rate where it was $2.
Hey JD, do you remember that book by Tony Caputo about publishing comics? It was a hard copy he printed it back in the 90s.
No, you know, I picked up a book from Solson Publishing way back in the day in the 80s, and it's the same thing as how to publish comics. Right, but this is when we had like 13 or 14 distributors.
Yep.
It's funny. I think I got a book. Maybe it's from Marcosia. Right. That had a George Perez cover. That broke down the steps.
Oh yeah, I've seen that book too. Yeah.
You saw that, right? It was a black and white book. But this we're talking about maybe almost 20 years ago that I got. You know? But I'm sorry, Torres, you wanted to ask him.
Yeah, Corissa mentioned Comics Wellspring. On the interview I did with the crowdfunding president on our show that's going to air this week, he mentioned that they have a deal going on that if you go through Crowdfunder, there's a 15% discount on Comics Wellspring.
I've heard that.
Yeah, they actually interviewed us over at Grand Rapids Con. I hadn't seen those guys in a while. And I was like, oh, I want to interview you. I'm like, I'll take it.
Very nice. Okay, cool. All right. I mean, we're at the top of the 2 hours, so you know, I mean, this was awesome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Awesome.
Now, let's start with Mr. Dudley. Where can they find you and your work, sir?
Oh yeah, you can find me at imaginosworkshop.com. You can also find Judah Fist over at Comic Fury, and you can also find our book, The Extras, over at Comic Fury. These are all online web comics.
Gotcha. Very nice. Corissa, where can they find you?
I'm on pre-launch on Kickstarter. Just search Worthy Chaos. And also I have a website, worthychaoscomics.com. And you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, all under Worthy Chaos.
Very nice. Paul, where can they find you and your work, sir?
I am Paul Gommez. I'm on Paul Gommez 790 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I also do a web show every Wednesday at 4 Central, 5 Eastern on the Comic Madness. That's Reality of Publishing Comics. Also, this week I finished signing my contracts with ASAP Imagination, so hopefully my books will be up on their site within the week.
Very nice. Mark, where can they find you and your work, sir?
So, as always, the just simplest way is Google It Came From the Radio. You can find us everywhere under Instagram. I don't use it that much. Facebook, Twitter. Our website has all the old shows. We're actually an actual radio show, so it's 88.1 FM WARY in Westchester County. If you don't live in Westchester County, New York, we're on just about any type of a podcast platform. So if you have it, we're probably on there. We have a live show courtesy of the East Meadow Public Library the second Wednesday of every month. As I mentioned, starting this Wednesday, we're going to be in person in the library. So that's www.eastmeadow.info. So you can let them know you're coming and come down there. We're going to have a filmmaker, Patrick. I forget your last name. Sorry, Patrick. He's going to be giving away a used script from one of the films that he's been in as a raffle, as like an incentive to come down. It's free. And look forward for our book on Crowdfunder, and the radio play will be coming out very soon. So just www.itcamefromradio.com. Everything is up there.
Nice.
All right, cool. When's your next show?
My next show, we release a new show every Monday. So this week's show is coming out. I'm gonna upload it after we finish this. Sending it to the radio stations. We have online radio stations. We're on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all different types of places. And then it's released on all the podcast places this week. Like I said, this particular show we're interviewing David Barish from Crowdfunder is our main draw.
All right, very nice, very nice. Mr. Rosario, where can I find your work, sir?
Unstoppable Comics, folks. Unstoppable Comics will lead you to and from all of our social platforms. And we have a book launching in February as well.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Yes, so my name is JD Calderon. I'm the writer creator of the Oswald Chronicles. You can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, DeviantArt, all under JD Calderon, and Twitter. Go check out the OswaldChronicles.com, TallTalesOnline.com, and you can check out everybody's links in the show notes. I put everybody's links in there, so you can click on those links, go sign up for the books, and go check everybody out. Thank you so much. You guys are all awesome. Remember, you guys are always welcome on the show, so except maybe Jay. I don't know. Sometimes I got
But how come you never invite me?
What do you mean? You just show up. I don't even know who even sent you the link. I don't even know.
Your wife, because she needs somebody to ground you.
Oh, I think we need somebody to ground you, sir. Anyway, but thank you so much, everybody. You guys are all great. Go check out the books. Go check out the links, and I'll be talking to you all soon.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.